If you've been struggling with ADHD, a lack of focus, a busy brain, or anxiety, this class is for you. We'll combine breathing techniques, moving with the breath, and balancing postures to help quiet down the mind chatter and bring a sense of calm to your day. Get ready to wobble as we attempt some tricky balances, and make sure you laugh when you fall over. Rolling out your mat, let's begin. Taking the soles of your feet together, knees nice and wide, coming into butterfly pose. Feel free to sit up nice and tall or come forward, folding forward any amount. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, sighing it out. One more cleansing breath just like that. Inhale through your nose and out your mouth. Working on the balance is such a great way to improve mental clarity and focus, because balancing requires concentration, and the movements that we'll be exploring in today's class will challenge your brain to focus on one thing, staying on your feet, or that should be staying on one foot. That allows you to bring your mind into the present moment, helping to melt away any incessant thoughts. That said, I want to emphasize that yoga is a practice, meaning you need to give it time and not give yourself a hard time if it's not working out for you and your brain is just staying busy on your first try. Don't give up. Keep practicing. I've been holding in this pose for a little while. Just maybe see if you can fold a little bit deeper as the hips begin to open. Let's take one more deep breath here, and then sit on up, bring your knees together, and just drop the knees from one side to the other, windscreen wipers. Crossing at your ankles now, come into a forward fold at the top of your mat, bending knees as much as you need to allow belly to drape over your thighs. We'll take another 3 intentional breaths together, and with every exhale, I want you to visualize busy, anxious thoughts melting away. Deep breath in through your nose, sigh out your mouth. Again, inhale, sigh it out, inhale. This time, lion's breath, stick your tongue out. And now slowly round up through your spine, come to stand. And take a couple shoulder rolls once you get to your Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, step back to plank, lower knees, lower to belly. Inhale, baby cobra. And then exhale, press back through hands and knees into downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal out your feet in your down dog. And then come into stillness. Another deep breath in here. Exhale out your mouth. And we'll continue. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping arms overhead as you rise to stand. And then exhale, hands through prayer Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back to plank, keeping knees lifted this time, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. That's 1, 2. And at the end of your 3rd breath, bend your knees, look forward, hop or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting your arms up. And then exhale, hands through prayer, Tadasana. Another cleansing breath in Tadasana. Inhale through your nose. Big sigh out your mouth. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, this time step back with your right foot, lower your right knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, lower down to plank chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Once again, 3 breaths here. For 1, 2, and 3. Right foot steps in between your hands, back knee lowers. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, lower your hands, lift your back knee, and now big step forward, lifting your left knee up to your chest, coming into a standing stalk, hugging on to that left knee, really squeeze it into your chest. This is our first balance test. From here, coming into a tree pose, left foot to the inner right thigh or to the inner calf. So we want to be above or below the knee. Hands can be in prayer, overhead, or to challenge our balance further, find some sways. Maybe you take your left hand on your left thigh, coming into a side bend. If you wobble, it's all good. You saw I just kind of fell out of it. And then release, give your legs a shake. Inhale, reach on up. Exhale, lower down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left foot steps back, low lunge. Reaching arms up as you breathe in, and then exhale, step back to plank chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing back bend, and exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Recalibrate, refind your breath. You should be feeling a little bit warmer now than at the start of class. Alright, your left foot is going to step in between your hands, back knee lowers. Inhale as you reach your arms up, low lunge. Exhale, lower the hands, lift back knee, and we're finding our balance again by stepping all the way forward with the right foot, drawing that knee into chest, catching your balance, drawing belly in to really help with balance, finding a spot in front of you that's not moving to stare at if you just need that little bit of extra help. And then come into your tree pose, taking that right foot to the inner left thigh or calf, and then just finding any arm variation that's working for you. I find the side bend to be really quite challenging, and you get a nice little extra bonus side bend there. Alright, coming back to center, and then hug your right knee into chest, give it one more squeeze, and then lower it down, give the legs a shake. Alright, from here, heel toe your feet out wide, heels in, toes out, and sink down into Malasana Yogi Squat. Feel free to shift a little bit from side to side, using your elbows to help open up the knees. And don't worry if you're not able to squat down quite as low as me, just coming down to wherever's available to you. Karate chop your left arm out to the side and reach your right arm up, twisting open to the right. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, twisting from the belly. Come back to center and then switch the sides. So twisting to the left. And we're going to build on these Malasana twists. We're warming up for our peak balancing challenge set of postures. We'll just pause here for a moment, watching my bunny flop. Alright, and then from your Malasana, just plop on down onto your bum, coming up into Navasana. Knees can be bent, or if it's within your practice, extending your legs. And if you need a little bit more support, you can hold the backs of the thighs. We want to be lifting up from the chest, not rounding the spine. So nice long spine, drawing belly in. And then round back, rolling back, rocking and rolling like a ball. So round all the way back, maybe seeing if you can tap your toes on the floor behind you, coming back up into your Navasana, taking it back, and then using your core strength to lift up and pause for a second in Navasana, and rocking and rolling. Let's do 2 more. I find this is such a great way to practice balance, super fun. And last one. Alright, this time as you come up, crossing at the ankles and just roll forward onto hands and knees, and then stepping or hopping back into your plank chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Alright, from this down dog, we're gonna hop forward into our malasana once again, and we'll take a couple bounces before we get there. So begin to bend your knees deeply, find a few bounces and look forward, and then hop your feet outside your hands, sinking down into malasana once more. Right, if you have a yoga strap, please grab it, or feel free to pause this video while you grab an alternative. You can use a tea towel or a small towel, or even a sock or a t-shirt works well. We're finding that twist that we did before, but we're gonna bind this time. So reaching your left arm forward, find an internal rotation, wrap that left arm around your left leg, and then wrapping your right arm around the back, catching hold of your fingers or your strap or other prop, coming into your bind. Let's release and find that bind on the second side. So this is gonna really begin to open up into our shoulders, deepening into our twist. Once again, preparing us for what is to come. Alright, release, come back to center, and then pop down onto your butt again, coming into Navasana, finding a low boat, high boat, low boat, high boat, one more, low boat, and then high boat. Working on that core strength is going to really help with our balances. From here, extending both legs out long, and we're coming into Dandasana. So taking your hands down by your hips, spine is nice and long, your legs are super active. See if your heels will hover off away from the floor. And we're going to activate our bandha, so drawing up Mula Bandha, that's pelvic floor, drawing it up, hugging low belly in, and then dipping your chin down to your chest. So we're finding a sense of squeezing energy up. And from here, bend into your left knee, and we're coming into that bind again. So it's similar to our bind in Balasana, but this time we have one leg extended. So this is our Marichasana A. Once you've got your bind, remember you can use your strap or your any other prop if you can't quite catch the fingers, that's no problem. And then folding forward over that right leg. It's okay if your left sitting bone hovers off away from the floor. And don't worry if you're miles away from your right leg in your fold. This is a tricky one. Alright, when you're ready, release. Take your right hand back and then lift on up, lifting hips, opening into a back bend, baby wild thing. Reaching your left arm back. You lift your hips, lift your chest, and then lower down. From here, you're going to kind of scoot around. So we're coming into a modified side plank with the left knee grounded and your right leg is extended and hovering, lifting your right arm up towards the ceiling. And I want you to find a sense of kind of scooting your hips forward and then kind of tucking your tailbone as well. So modified side plank. And just an option here if you'd like to come into a back bend, sugarcane, bending into your right leg, catching hold of the outside edge of your foot, and then kicking the foot into the hand, opening up through the shoulder a little bit more. All right, lower your right leg down and take a side bend in the opposite direction. And then release. Coming onto your knees, and we'll take a modified camel pose. So taking your hands to your low back, and then push your hips forward, lift your chest away from your ribs, coming into a back bend. We really want to emphasize the heart lifting up towards the ceiling. Gaze can be straight ahead or up at the ceiling. And then lower down, come to sit on your heels. Take a couple of breaths. Back bends can be very stimulating, so we want to just find a little bit of a sense of quiet. And when you're ready, hopping back into a plank, finding your Vinyasa flow, and we'll meet up in a downward dog. Take a deep breath here, and then hop through to a seat. We're going to pause here before finding our flow on the second side for a pranayama exercise, breath of fire. Sitting with a tall spine, rest your hands on your knees. Inhale halfway and then exhale sharply through your nose, pumping your belly button to your spine, and then keep pumping the belly, pushing breath out your nose. Keep exhaling out through your nose as you push the belly back, so contracting your belly. The inhale is passive, so you're really focusing on forcefully exhaling through your nose. You can begin super slow if this is new to you, and it should sound a bit like this. If you just open your eyes for a moment, if this is new and you need a visual, see my belly moving. It's really pumping back, so your belly is dancing. And once you've got the hang of it, closing your eyes. And keep pumping the belly with the exhale. Alright, we're almost there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. And then hold your breath at the top, finding your bandhas, squeezing Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, really hugging in your low belly up towards your ribs, drawing your chin down to your chest. Keep that breath held. Imagine energy squeezing up your spinal cord, up into your brain. Holding, holding, holding. And then when you're ready and need to let go, release your breath. Let it go. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Notice how you feel. Slowly, let's re-extend both legs and then bend into your right knees. We're setting up for our Marichasana A on the second side. So just hugging that knee in towards your chest. And then reach forward with the right arm, wrap it around the leg. Left arm reaches behind your back, catching hold of your fingers or your prop, and then folding forward. Alright, releasing. And we're finding that baby wild thing, so left hand behind the back, lift your hips, lift your chest, right arm reaches behind you. Lower it back down. And then coming into our modified side plank, right knee is on the mat this time, left leg is extended and hovering. Option to take that sugarcane variation, a little bit of a back bend, opening up through the shoulder and the chest. And then lowering the left foot, coming up into a side bend, reaching up with the right arm. And then release, coming to stand on your knees. We'll find camel again, so really lifting the chest away from the ribs. This time, option to reach back for your heels if that's in your practice. Slowly release, coming to sit on your heels. Take a few slow breaths here. And then option to take your vinyasa or skip it. We'll all meet in a downward facing dog. Or if child's pose is calling your name, feel free to take rest. Alright, when you're ready, coming back into a downward dog and hopping forward into our Malasana once again. Alright, we're setting up for the big one, the peak balance challenge. Coming into that bind in your Malasana, wrapping around the left leg. And then you're going to begin to heel toe the feet together. Find balance in your unbound leg and see if you can stand up, keeping that bind. So we're holding onto the left leg, lifting on up, really squeezing your core to help with your balance, focusing on your breath. And then we find drinking flamingo from here, keeping your bind, begin to hinge forward from the hips. I fell out. It's all good if you fell too. See if you can come back in. So we're thinking flat back here, but holding on to that bind. If you've lost it, don't worry. Wherever you are now, coming into a half moon. So we're balancing on the right leg, extending that left leg out strongly. And we're not done with our balance here. So once you're in your half moon, find your balance. And then really squeezing those core muscles in. Begin to stand, tapping your heels together, and then lower back down into your half moon. And we'll do that twice more. So keeping your left foot hovering, so when it taps the right heel, it's still hovering off the floor slightly. One more tap, and then lower all the way back down. All right, from here, begin to bend into your right leg, stepping all the way back gracefully into a warrior two. Take a breath here, and then cartwheel your arms down into a runner's lunge, stepping back to plank, flowing through a vinyasa. And then we'll get ready to try that all again on the second side. So just let go of whatever happened or didn't happen on the first side. Our balance tends to be radically different from side to side. Maybe the second side is going to be better for balance for you, or maybe it's going to be worse. I've got a feeling I'm also going to have a fall on this side too. So we're coming into that bind in our malasana, binding our right leg, and then seeing if we can stand on up onto the left leg, keeping that bind. Remember, using your props if that's going to help you out. All right, if you're standing and you haven't fallen, let's try out the flamingo variation by beginning to hinge from the hips. Oh no, I've fallen. But if you're holding it, if you're in your flamingo, that's amazing. Really concentrate on your breathing, finding that balance, and then we'll open up into our half moon. So really extending out through your limbs, pressing so much energy out through that right heel. And then our last little balance challenge, coming in to stand, tapping the heels, and then lowering back into half moon. Twice more. Tap and back into half moon. One more, really using the strength of your core to lift you up and down. All right, one last breath in half moon, and then stepping back into warrior two, just for a breath. And then cartwheeling your arms down and flowing through a vinyasa, or skip it. If you've had enough, if your body's tired, come straight into a child's pose. Wherever you are, making your way down onto your back. And we'll find a couple of back bends before we close. So taking your heels close in towards your hips, come on up into a bridge, lifting up your hips, clasping your hands underneath you, snuggling shoulder blades together. And just here for another breath. And then lower your hips down. And now coming up either for a second bridge or wheel. If you're coming up for a wheel, taking your hands beside your ears, and then popping up onto the crown of your head before pressing all the way up into a wheel, really focusing on straightening through the arms and then pulling your chest forward towards your hands. Lower down, hug your knees to chest, give yourself a big squeeze, and then come into happy baby. So our final few postures before we come into a guided meditation to close off our class. Hug your right knee into chest, extend your left leg out long, and then draw your right knee across your body, setting up for a reclined twist. Unwinding, and then just take your twist the other way. All right, unwinding your twist, and I'm coming into a comfortable position for a meditation. This could be lying down in Shavasana or coming up to sit with a nice tall spine, hands on your knees. Visualize counting your breaths from 10 down to 1. So it will be 10 in, 10 out, 9 in, 9 out, and so on. And before we do this, or as you do this rather, I want you to really visualize the number physically in your mind's eye. I'd recommend getting really creative with how you visualize your numbers. I like to make mine shiny, make them move around. You can make them light up, glowing brighter as you fill your body with breath. So begin in for 10, out for 10, in for 9, and 9 out, 8 in, 8 out, 7 in, and 7 out, 6 in, and 6 out, 5 in, and 5 out, 4 in, and 4 out, 3 in, and 3 out, 2 in, and 2 out, 1 in, and 1 out. Gently soften your attention and take a moment to notice how you feel. Bring your palms to touch in front of your heart. Say something kind to yourself. And then slowly bow forward to close our practice together. I hope this practice helps you. And remember, yoga is a practice. Don't give up. Keep practicing. Please give this video a thumbs up if you've stuck around for the entire class. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you again very soon.